be showing you guys how to connect GitHub to your machine and push changes directly from your terminal. We will begin with some background on the version control, then move on to see how to get Git running on your system, and finally how to get it set up to start working with. If you have not used version control before, this is the best place to get started, as Git is the most widely used version control out there. What is version control? So version control is a system that records changes to a file or a set of files over time so that you can record specific versions later. It allows you to revert selected files back to a previous state, and maybe revert the entire project back to a previous state, compare the changes over time. You can also see who last modified something that might be causing a problem. So that is version control. While with Git, you can think of Git as a distributed version control system. With Git, every time you commit or save state of a project, Git basically takes a picture of what all your files look like at that moment and stores a reference to the snapshot. Git thinks about its data more like a stream of snapshots. And because it is a distributed version control system, everybody will have a local copy of the remote repository. Okay, next I'll be talking about the different components of a Git project. Okay, pay close attention to this part as this will help you understand the next few sections more clearly. Okay, there are three main sections for a Git project. Basically, the working tree, the staging area, and the Git directory. The working tree is a simple checkout of one version of a project. Okay, so you can get one version of the project from the Git directory, and these files are put out of the compressed database in the Git directory and placed on a disk on your own machine for you to use or later modify. Untracked and modified files will be in your working directory, and you will list them when run git status. And after you are done with your modifications, you will want to move it on to the next stage, which is the staging area. The staging area is a file generated contained in your Git directory. It stores information about what will go into your next commit. The staging area is where we organize what we want to be committed to the repository. The Git directory is where the Git stores the metadata and object database for your project. If a particular version of a file is in the Git directory already, is considered committed. With this in mind, let's get started on setting up Git. There are a lot of different ways to use Git. In this case, I'm a Mac user, and hence I'll be using the terminal, which is here. It's a command line tool. For Windows, it will be command prompt. If you have not already learned how to use the command line yet, I would highly recommend you to go and learn more about it, as the command line is the only place you can run all the Git commands. Okay, there are a few ways to install Git. The first will be to go to the installer, git-acm.com/downloads, and just choose the downloads based on whichever operating system you have. Follow the instructions over there, it's pretty straightforward. And another method is to use Homebrew. You can use Homebrew to download Git straight from your terminal. So the first step you have to do is to copy this right here and paste it in your terminal and run it. I already have it, so I shall not run it. And once you have it installed, you then run the following command to install Git: brew install Git, and press enter, and you'll install Git. You can check that Git is already installed by running this version control after you have run the previous command. Once you have successfully installed Git, this will show up to show you the version. Is to verify the installation of Git. Alright, and the next thing that you will want to do is to configure the global variables and set your username and email address. Okay, so to set your username, run this command: git config global user.name, and just type in your name right here and press enter. And to set up your email address, similarly, git config --global user.email, and type in your email address. and you are done with the basic configurations. Of course, there are many more configurations that you can do to customize your experience. Another very important thing is when setting up Git is to set up a global.gitignore file and add those. So basically, a gitignore file is used by Git to globally ignore a list of files that you may not want in your repository, such as a .jar, .exe, .ds underscore store. Yeah, so I shall not go through all this. These are more advanced configurations that I can do more videos on this in the future, but right now I'll just go through the basic steps you have to do to have these things set up. And next up you want to do is to set up the SSH on your computer. This step is to connect your GitHub account to your machine, so you can straight away commit changes to your GitHub. And the first thing that you want to do is run this SSH -keygen -trsa -c and type in your email address, the email address that you use for GitHub, right? And once you have successfully generated your keys, then just press enter. In this case, you'll press Y, but I've already had it set up, so I press no. Okay. And the next thing that you want to do is to run this pb copy -ssh -id underscore rsa .pub. And basically, if you run this thing, you'll just copy the key that you have generated onto your clipboard. And once you have that done, you will go to your GitHub. Okay, this is my GitHub. From your GitHub profile, click on the top right hand corner in your profile picture and go to settings. Once you're in your settings, click on SSH and GPG keys. I already have mine set up, so what you would have to do is to press new SSH key and type in the title which you can use to describe the name of your machine. For example, if in my case it's Brian's MacBook, so this to identify that I am using this machine for committing changes. And you just have to do a Control V to paste whatever your key is. And once you have that done, click on add SSH key, and that's all. Once you submitted it, your SSH key will be up and running. To test if it's successful, you can run the following in the terminal. Let me just open up another terminal. Run SSH -t git at github.com. So once you have seen this message like this, you are successfully authenticated. That means you're successful in connecting your account to terminal. Right now, I'll be showing you some basic terminal commands so that you can navigate through the terminal. So the first thing that I'll go through is pwd. So what pwd means is print the working directory. This will print wherever you are currently on a file system. For example, let's say I'm in a desktop, then I want to find out which part of the system am I in. So all I have to do is to type pwd, and they will tell me that I am currently on my desktop. And the next one will be ls command. Is to list out everything that you have on the current directory. So let's say I'm on my desktop right now, and I want to find out what files I have on the desktop. And I just have to press ls, and you see these are all the folders that I have in my desktop right now. As you can see, Django e-commerce, I have it right here. Okay, so by typing ls -a, you list out all the files in the desktop, including the hidden files. Another one will be ... means the parent directory. It means the directory before desktop. CD is a command that allows you to navigate to any directories that you want. For example, I'm currently in the desktop and I want to go into the Django e-commerce folder. All I have to do is change directory, cd stands for change directory, and I just have to type the file name, Django e-commerce, and now I'm in the Django e-commerce. To go back to the desktop, what I can do is change directory, desktop, or I can do change directory, ... So ... basically just means the parent directory. So the parent directory of Django e-commerce is the desktop. So right now I'm back to the desktop. And wherever you are, let's say you want to go back to the home directory, what you can do is change directory and type this curly dash, and you're back in the home directory. So these are some of the basics for the Mac terminal. And now I'll be going through more basics for the Git. So to add files to a staging area, what you have to do is git add -a. This will add everything to the staging area. As I said before, whatever files that you have here, you want to move it to the staging area. All you have to do is to run this command and you'll make them go to the staging area. And to remove files from the staging area, you just have to do this git reset, and this basically removes everything from the staging area. But let's say you just want to remove just one file or folder from the staging area, you can do git reset and type the name of the folder. For example, let's say I don't want this in the staging folder, and then I just have to type git reset Django e-commerce. Yeah, this is to remove files from the staging area. Okay, let's go through some examples to create a repository and make changes. So the first thing you want to do is to go to your Git account and create a new repository. Click on this icon over here to create a new repository and type in the name for your repository. Just an example, I'll type in Django e-commerce. Description, just type in whatever description you want. So in this case, it's an e-commerce platform built using Django. You can set it as public or private, and I'll set it as public. And initialize this repository for README, yes. And just create the repository. And now that you have created this repository, it's empty, right? So what you want to do is to create a local copy of this on your desk, on your machine. And what you can do is click on this icon right here. And one thing to note is that make sure you use SSH and not HTTP. So if you see this, just press use SSH. And you have this link right here, and you just have to copy this link. And now you go to terminal, and you will go to the directory where you want to save, which you want to save the folder to create the local repository. So right now I'm in my home repository. I will change directory to the desktop, and once I'm in my desktop, I'll run git clone and paste the repository URL. As you can see, the local version of the repository is already created. And once that is done, I just have to drop my files into the folder, into the local repository. Alright, so there are three main steps for pushing the changes that you have made. So just now the folder was empty, and I added my own files. So I want all these files to appear on my GitHub. So what can I do first? So the first step is to stage the changes. Next is committing them, and finally pushing them to your remote repository. First thing that you want to do is to navigate to your local repository. So once I'm in my desktop, I will change directory to Django e-commerce. And once I'm in here, I'll run the following: git add -a. So this is to push the changes to the staging area, and then next I will commit the changes. So I'll type git commit -m and type a comment here to tell others what changes you have made in this push. So in this case, I've added files to repository, and just run this command over here. And finally, you want to push the changes to the GitHub. So you have to do, first you have to git pull origin master. Okay, this step is more applicable to those who use a shared Git repository, right? When others make changes already, you first have to pull in the changes that they have made. This to make sure that your changes and others don't clash. Next, you can push your changes already. So git push origin master. Okay. So once this shows up, it shows that you have successfully pushed your changes to your GitHub repository. Yep, once I refresh this page, you can see that the files are already added to your GitHub. Anyone can access them online. So that's all for me for today.